Hello, my name is Geraldine Lee. Welcome to the Call of Guadalupe Introduction. I'm the director of the musical Call of Guadalupe, and I hope that I'm glad that you're listening to the introduction so you know more about how it started and a bit about it. So hello and welcome to my introduction. So the Call of Guadalupe is going to, it goes around Australia, and currently it's going to Adelaide, and so hopefully this introduction will be relevant for Adelaide, Melbourne, and hopefully in our future productions. So I'll be doing a PowerPoint of it, so I'll just press each time to the next one. So when and how it started. It started in, our first musical was in 2005, and it was a musical that there was, we had nearly 100 cast members in the musical, and it began really from a dream, I suppose, that John had, and initially his cousin, actually it's my mum's cousin, Anne Lynn. She lives in Singapore, and she had this desire, inspired by Jesus and Mary, to write this musical and write and produce this musical. And she had the outlines of the story, outlines of the musical, to how to do it, and then she shared it with my dad, John Lee, and they wrote and began to write the musical together. And Peter Foster was the composer of the musical. Yes, and so we had it in 2005, and we had a full house, and many people came to God through it. The musical also was took off because it was also inspired by my mother, Teresa Lee. She, unfortunately, sad to say, had cancer in 2003, and when she was suffering, whenever we brought the picture of Our Lady of Guadalupe, as you can see, there's a picture there in the corner, maybe it's not that clear, of Our Lady of Guadalupe, she felt comforted and she would get better. So in some ways she felt that this was inspired by God, and she wanted the musical to spread to Australia and around the world. And so she donated some money, and she also encouraged me and my dad to put on the musical. After she unfortunately passed away, but I felt after her death that an inspiration from God to really leave Sydney, where I was living, and with my dad and with a whole group of lovely founding members, we began the journey of Call of Guadalupe. So I'll just show you the next slide. And so there is, I'm not sure if you can see it that clearly, but John Lee and Peter Foster are in the PowerPoint there. John Lee is a well-established playwright and writer, and he said that this is one of his greatest works that's been inspired by God, and so is Peter Foster. They're now currently both in their I think Peter has become nearly 80 and my dad's 83, and they feel that this work has been inspired by God. And also this musical has the endorsement and inspiration of bishops all over the world, and particularly Archbishop Wilson, Archbishop Hart, and also Cardinal Pell. So it's been encouraged, and they've got the prayer support. The story of the musical is, first, it goes into modern day times of a family dealing with the challenges of life. You know, Alan, who's one of the characters, he wants to go ahead in his career, but he's pressured by society to get ahead, and in a sense he's putting himself and his ambition ahead of his family, and the pressures on his wife's mother, and also the pressure on his own baby to come. So you will see the culture of life and the culture of death. There's a challenge there. And then there's a flashback to the Aztec times, and you'll see in these pictures below of the Aztec times, where there's a flashback to the times when people used to sacrifice human beings to the gods, and when they sacrificed them, they wanted ambition, power, and they wanted to give up, I suppose, their babies and their children, so that the gods would appease them and would give them power, ambition, and fame, all those things. So there's a parallel between the past and the present, and then there's the time of Diego and Maria. They're Aztecs who become converted to God, and then there's the rebels in the scene where they also get touched by God. This musical has a lot of humor, drama, fighting. There's a lot of, and it's very colorful. And one very significant thing I forgot was the apparition of the Virgin Mary to Diego, because during that time they used to worship the sun god, the moon god, and it was very symbolic of her appearing to Diego, because she brought miracles, and there was someone brought back to life. And also on her tilma there's a picture of sun, and also she stands on the moon, so it's very significant. That's why the Aztecs took on the Christian faith, because through her apparition and through the miracles that occurred. This musical has gone round Australia to three different states, and it's been to the Philippines 3 times, and we hope that it will go around the world and around Australia, the whole of Australia. Obviously, we have always thought, we used to think it's too hard, this work, but somehow God gives us the grace and inspiration. And John Lee, who's the founder of the musical, of the organization, he always has said, yes, spread the word, spread around the world, and he suddenly has persevered. And people in South Africa and Sydney are interested too. So we come to the benefits of those to the musical. We have had many, many benefits and many blessings. So far we've had 3 calling vocations to the priesthood, and a couple of them are training in the seminary at the moment. And Diego, who played the first Diego, David Lemerville, he's now living in Melbourne, and he is training to the priesthood in the MGLs, and he is a wonderful singer, and he dedicated 3 to 4 years of his life full-time to the musical as a missionary. And we've got more than 3 young women who were threatened by abortion, but through the musical they've changed their mind. And in fact, one of the cast members her cousin was going to have an abortion, and when she saw the musical, she felt inspired, and she changed her mind, and she was actually had an appointment to have an abortion. So it was wonderful that she changed her mind. And not only that, it promotes unity in the different groups, different churches. This musical, Mary's got a way of uniting people. It's great to have bells and ringing, but that's cool. And also, it breaks generation gap. It's a wonderful experience where people in a musical meet each other and pray with each other, and get closer to God. It also helps people to get more parishioners to be more involved in the church. This ends the first section. We're ending the first section of our introduction to the musical. In the second section, we'll have people ask questions, and maybe you'll get to know more of the musical. But thank you for logging in to see a bit of the introduction of the musical, and we will see you in the next section of our introduction. Thank you. God bless.